Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover the ghosts of these magnificent institutions, the ancient libraries of the world. Our first stop is the legendary Library of Alexandria in Egypt. Founded in the 3rd century BCE by Ptolemy I, it wasn't just a building with shelves, it was the world's first true university. Scholars, scientists, and poets flocked here from across the known world. Imagine Archimedes, the great inventor, poring over geometric proofs, or Eratosthenes, the man who first calculated the Earth's circumference, accessing maps and astronomical data. The library aimed to collect a copy of every book ever written. Agents were sent across the Mediterranean to buy or copy scrolls. Every ship docking in Alexandria's harbor was searched, and any books found were seized, copied, and then the copies were returned to the owners. This aggressive acquisition policy amassed a collection estimated to be between 40,000 and 400,000 scrolls. It was a beacon of intellectual light, a place where the sum of human knowledge was gathered, studied, and expanded upon. But like all great flames, it was destined to flicker out. The story of its destruction isn't a single event, but a slow, painful decline over centuries, involving fires, budget cuts, and political turmoil, a tragic lesson in the fragility of knowledge. From the papyrus scrolls of Egypt, we travel east to the sun-baked plains of Mesopotamia, to the city of Nineveh. Here, in the 7th century BCE, the formidable Assyrian king Ashurbanipal created a library unlike any other. Ashurbanipal wasn't just a warrior king, he was a scholar, one of the few monarchs of his time who could read and write. His passion was collecting the literature and scientific knowledge of Mesopotamia. He sent scribes throughout his vast empire to copy texts from ancient temples and libraries. But instead of fragile papyrus, Ashurbanipal's library was made of clay. Tens of thousands of cuneiform tablets were meticulously inscribed and then baked, making them incredibly durable. This foresight was a stroke of genius. When Nineveh was sacked in 612 BCE and the palace burned, the fire that destroyed the city actually fired the clay tablets, preserving them for millennia. Rediscovered in the 19th century, this collection gave us the Epic of Gilgamesh, ancient dictionaries, medical texts, and astronomical observations. It's our most direct link to the minds of the ancient Mesopotamians, all thanks to a king who valued knowledge as much as power. Now, let's journey to the Hellenistic world, to the city of Pergamum, in modern-day Turkey. Here, a fierce rivalry with Alexandria sparked the creation of another magnificent library. In the 2nd century BCE, the Attalid dynasty, rulers of Pergamum, wanted to build an intellectual center that would rival or even surpass Alexandria's. They amassed a collection of around 200,000 scrolls. Their ambition was so great that, according to the Roman writer Pliny the Elder, Ptolemy of Egypt became jealous and placed an embargo on the export of papyrus. He hoped to cripple his rival's library. But this act of sabotage backfired spectacularly. Faced with a shortage of writing material, the scholars of Pergamum innovated. They perfected a new medium made from treated animal skins. It was smoother, stronger, and could be written on both sides. They named it pergamene, which we now know as parchment. This invention would change the course of writing. It was parchment that allowed for the creation of the codex, the bound book format we still use today, which eventually replaced the scroll. The Library of Pergamum may have started as an act of rivalry, but it ended up giving the world the very foundation of the modern book. Our next destination takes us to the heart of the Roman Empire. While Rome was famous for its legions and aqueducts, it also became a city of libraries. The idea was brought to Rome by figures like Julius Caesar, who planned a grand public library but was assassinated before he could build it. The honor of creating Rome's first public library went to his lieutenant, Asinius Pollio, around 39 BCE. Soon, libraries became a status symbol for emperors. Augustus, Tiberius, and Trajan all built magnificent libraries, often attached to temples or public forums. The most famous was the Ulpian Library, built by Emperor Trajan in his forum. It was a stunning complex with two separate halls, one for Greek texts and one for Latin, reflecting the bilingual nature of the Roman elite. These weren't just for scholars, they were open to the public, a place for educated citizens to read, research, and socialize. They contained literature, history, law, and government records. These Roman libraries ensured that the knowledge of the Greek world was preserved, translated, and transmitted throughout the vast empire, forming the bedrock of Western civilization. But not all great libraries were built by kings or emperors. Let's travel to the Roman city of Ephesus, where a son's love for his father created an architectural masterpiece. The Library of Celsus, completed around 117 CE, was built by Tiberius Julius Aquila Ptolemaios as a monumental tomb and library for his father, Celsus, a former Roman governor. Though smaller than the great state libraries, holding around 12,000 scrolls, its design was ingenious. The library featured a beautiful two-story facade with niches holding statues personifying wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, and virtue. Inside, to protect the precious scrolls from moisture, the main reading room was built with a double-wall construction, creating an air gap for insulation. It was a private library, a testament to one family's devotion to culture and learning. Today, its reconstructed facade stands as one of the most iconic images of ancient ruins, a beautiful and poignant reminder that the pursuit of knowledge can also be an act of love. Our final story is one of rediscovery and survival against all odds. Deep beneath the ash of Mount Vesuvius, in the buried town of Herculaneum, lay a private villa. In the 18th century, excavators tunneled into what became known as the Villa of the Papyri. Inside, they found a stunning collection of bronze statues, but more importantly, they found what looked like lumps of charcoal. It took them a while to realize what they had: an entire library of over 1,800 carbonized papyrus scrolls, the only library from the classical world to have survived intact. These scrolls were from the private collection of a wealthy Roman, likely Julius Caesar's father-in-law. They are incredibly fragile, baked and crushed by the volcanic eruption. For centuries, scholars have struggled to unroll and read them. But today, with cutting-edge technology like multispectral imaging and even AI-powered virtual unrolling, we are finally beginning to unlock their secrets. These charred remains contain lost philosophical works, primarily by the Epicurean philosopher Philodemus. It's a race against time, a high-tech archaeological quest to read the unreadable and recover voices that were silenced 2,000 years ago. From Alexandria's universal ambition to Ashurbanipal's fire-proofed clay, from Pergamum's innovation to Rome's civic pride and Herculaneum's miraculous survival, the story of ancient libraries is a story of human determination. It's a powerful reminder that the desire to gather, preserve, and share knowledge is one of our oldest and noblest impulses. These buildings may have crumbled, and countless scrolls turned to dust, but their spirit lives on in every library, every school, and every book we open today. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more adventures into our incredible past.